I'm sauteing some mushrooms. I've got butter.
Start with some butter and then some minced garlic.
Okay, an onion. Get that going in there. Okay.
About a half a cup of just yellow
and
onion.
And then tell us about some of the mushrooms that we're using. It doesn't look like just button. We've got a few different kinds.
Right. I bought a pack in the supermarket of just assorted wild mushrooms. So there's baby bellas, creminis, and there's some oysters and shiitakes. So it's kind of a 3 mushroom mix. Of course, if you would just prefer to buy all white button mushrooms, slice them up, put them in.
But quite a bit. It looks like a couple cups of mushrooms.
8 ounces.
Okay, 8
so,
ounces.
Well, mushrooms don't weigh very much,
right,
but it's at least 3 cups.
Okay.
But 8 ounces. So we'll saute them down, and even at home, I make this recipe, and if I don't feel like going to the supermarket, I use canned mushrooms.
Okay, so
and it's fine.
That'll work fine too.
Not as fancy, but if I have time and I run to the supermarket or I have friends coming over on the weekend, I splurge with the wild mushroom mix.
And let me tell you, it's so nice that, because these used to be so hard to find, and it's really nice that you can, get them right there at the grocery store.
Right.
So,
yeah, they're labeled like a stir-fry mix.
Okay.
Very easy to find.
So I'll get to work on these, little salt and pepper, and we'll get our garlic in there. Tell us about the actual meatloaf. That beef looks amazing, really lean.
Yeah, it is. It's 1.5 pounds of a lean ground beef. So I bought a nice 95.5, or there's a 96.4.
Okay.
Whatever your supermarket has is lean ground beef.
Okay.
Because when you're making meatloaf, you can't really drain your beef. Like when you brown it for a skillet meal, you take that extra step and you drain it. So I splurged and I bought a nice lean ground beef.
Okay.
1.5 pounds.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add 1 bread slice.
So, in fact,
fresh breadcrumbs.
That's funny because my Nana, who lived with us growing up, was known for her meatloaf, and she also would just use sandwich bread that, she'd just tear up instead of breadcrumbs. And I think that makes for a much lighter meatloaf. It's not as, dry breadcrumbs sometimes can tend to make the meatloaf dry,
Right. And the more you work your meatloaf mixture, kind of like when you make your burgers, the more you handle it and work it, it's going to change the texture. And it's going to dry it out and make it more compact. So we kind of want to get everything in our bowl and then mix it.
Okay. And you just rip that bread up with your hands.
Ripped it up.
Okay.
About a teaspoon of thyme, dried thyme.
Okay.
And then 1 egg.
1 egg.
1 whole egg. And then we add the mushroom mixture to this and incorporate it in.
And I see red pepper. Where does that come in?
That's going to go in our gravy.
Okay.
So we'll make it a nice, easy gravy. I have 2 sets of these.
Okay, that's awesome. That I've never seen
this.
this.
Meatloaf pan.
So that the fat drips off.
It does.
Okay, I love that.
Spray it a little bit for easy cleanup. Okay,
our mushroom
go
mixture.
in the beef.
And at home, maybe let them cool just a little bit before you throw them in there. Oh, this looks so good, Ange.
This meatloaf goes in a 350-degree oven for 50 minutes to an hour.
Meatloaf takes a while, yeah.
Yeah, it does. Use your Instant meat thermometer if you have one. Set it for 50. If it comes to 160, you're good.
Okay. So that's the internal temperature you're looking for. Okay. And then you just basically get it in there. So this does not have a lot of breading. It's really just about the meat and the mushrooms
and the onion. And then that thyme. The thyme is the seasoning flavors. And it doesn't make a lot. With the 1.5 pounds of beef, it's a nice loaf.
I'm dreaming of the meatloaf sandwiches when this is all done.
This leftover meatloaf, my husband and I fight for it. Get all the mushrooms in. You don't want to miss that flavor. So no cover, just a 350-degree oven.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll put that in, and you start the gravy.
Okay. So this is just a prepared gravy. You can.
Yeah, just a simple prepared jarred gravy.
Okay.
And then it just calls to add a little bit of red pepper to it.
To jazz it up.
You can slice, it calls for 1/2 cup.
Okay.
And then some butter.
Okay.
2 teaspoons of butter.
So
and some more thyme.
So we're kind of jazzing up the flavor of that.
Flavor.
Now, if the kids don't do red pepper, again, you could certainly leave that out, right, Ange?
Right.
But this is going to kind of make this meatloaf a little fancier with this fancy gravy. As you said, no ketchup in this meatloaf. Oh, that looks fantastic.
And I like adding the same seasoning in my gravy as I do in my meatloaf. So it's just got that thyme seasoning in it too, so it incorporates it and really makes it complete.
So this is 1 jar or can of gravy, some red pepper, a little bit of butter, and then some thyme. So it's going to make that jar gravy not really taste like it came out of a jar.
Exactly.
real pretty in there.
Speed scratch cooking, right?
Yes.
Our
I'm all
homemade
about
gravy.
that. Yes.
So then we just have some mashed potatoes to serve on the side and some asparagus, and you got a great meal. I'll
Yeah.
plate one of these. One of our meatloaf slices.
This looks fantastic. My
Actually,
husband
we got
Bob's a
two.
big,
Do you like mushrooms?
well, he loves mushrooms, so
And morel season's coming up.
I can't wait.
If you have enough left
I like
over.
to have friends that get them. And then we'll ladle a little of this gravy over the top. Oh my goodness gracious, Ange. That looks
a basic
really
meatloaf, but kicked up
fantastic.
a little bit
Yeah.
with a nice
Ooh,
signature,
yum.
some signature flavors.
Oh, that looks delicious. What are we making next time?
We're gonna make a lasagna, but it's a healthy lasagna. It uses lean ground beef, arugula, and spinach.
Ooh, so kind of a fancier lasagna too. Can't wait. Stick around. That's coming up.